Hi, and welcome to our 30-day yoga challenge. I'm so excited that you're here. Today, we're going to be focusing on building a strong foundation that's going to help to set us up for the next 30 days. So, whether you are a complete beginner or an experienced yogi, I think we can all benefit from going back to basics, building on the essentials, and remember that each and every time you come back to a pose, you have the opportunity to learn something new. So, we're going to get started, and we'll be standing with your feet hip width apart in mountain pose, with your arms down by your sides, your palms facing forward. See if you can fix your gaze at one spot, ground down through the four corners of your feet, lift up through the thighs, keeping the pelvis neutral, the core engaged, lifting up through the chest, rolling the shoulders down and back, strong all the way through the fingertips, and see if you can lengthen through the crown of your head. So standing tall. Now you may want to close down your eyes or just soften your gaze so that you can allow your awareness just to move inwards. And we're going to begin with some big, deep, clearing breaths in through the nose. A big sigh out through the mouth. Now just keep breathing in this way for the next few moments, holding that alignment in this mountain pose. So staying focused as you ground down through the feet. Lengthening through the crown of your head, staying with your deep breath. And as you stand here in this mountain pose, this would be an amazing time to repeat the intention that you've set for beginning this challenge. So remembering to say it as though it's already true, like I am happy, I am energized, whatever it is that really resonates with you. Repeat your intention now. Enjoy one last big, deep, clearing breath in. And a big sigh out through the mouth, letting go. Gently opening up your eyes if you'd closed them. Now, when we refer to mountain pose throughout our flows, we'll often be saying mountain pose, reach up high. So again, you want to continue with that same alignment, grounding down through the four corners of your feet, lifting up through the thighs, keeping the pelvis neutral, core engaged, but we'll be reaching the hands up overhead, lengthening through the fingertips and the crown of the head. So this will be our mountain pose throughout our flows. Now from mountain pose, we're going to be folding forward. So just take a slow and gentle fold forward, bending the knees, letting the head hang heavy, and just pausing here for a few breaths. And for a breath, we'll just focus on in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time, big breath in. Big sigh out. Now, we're going to be moving into halfway lift from here. So we're going to slide your hands up your legs, sliding your hands up your shins as you lengthen out through the crown of your head, drawing your elbows back. So we're looking for a nice flat back as you lengthen through the crown of your head. A soft bend in the knees. You don't want to lock your legs out completely, just a gentle bend in the knees here. Lengthening through the crown of your head, squeezing the shoulder blades together behind. See if you can imagine like you were trying to pinch a pencil in between your shoulder blades as you lengthen out through the crown of your head. One more big breath in. Exhale and slowly fold back forward. Now we're going to inhale and reach up high for mountain pose, reaching all the way up. Again, lengthen through the fingertips, practice grounding down through the feet, lifting up through the thighs, pelvis neutral, core engaged, strong through your fingertips, feeling tall. One more big breath in. Exhale and gently fold forward. Again, bending the knees, letting the head hang heavy. Big, deep, clearing breath in through the nose. Big sigh out through the mouth. Now we're coming back into your halfway lift. So again, sliding the palms of your hands up your shins, lengthening through the crown of your head, squeezing your shoulder blades together behind as you draw your elbows back. Soft bend in the knees, lengthening through the crown of the head. Big breath in. Exhale and gently fold forwards. Planting your hands to the mat this time, spread your fingers nice and wide. So anytime your hands are to the mat, see if you can spread your fingers nice and wide, gripping down through the fingertips. And this is going to help to really support your wrists throughout your practice. Now we're going to step back, bringing your knees to the mat to land in a tabletop position. So in our tabletop, you want your knees to be stacked underneath the hips. We want to stack our joints here, so the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder stacked in a line, fingers spread nice and wide, and just hold and breathe in your tabletop here. So think about pulling the belly button towards the spine, staying with your breath. Enjoy a big breath in through the nose. Exhale to sigh it all out through the mouth. Now from here, we're going to move into an extended child's pose. So we're going to take your knees about as wide as your mat, bringing your toes to touch behind. So you can press your hips back towards your heels, extending your arms out in front as you bring your forehead to the mat. If you can allow your chest to soften, the heart melting towards the mat, closing your eyes as you focus on your breath again here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in as fully and as deeply as you possibly can. Now on your next inhale, we're going to rise back up into tabletop on your hands and knees, just taking your time. Coming back into tabletop. Again, just checking that alignment. Wrist, elbow, shoulder stacked in a line, fingers spread wide, knees underneath the hips. Now we're going to take a big breath in. And on your exhale, with your toes tucked under behind, you're going to press your hips high and back to come into a downward facing dog. So in our downward facing dog, we want to press down through the fingertips, press your chest towards your thighs. You're pressing the ground away, so it's going to bring your shoulders up to your ears or close to your ears, lengthening through the spine. And it doesn't matter whether your feet are up here or your heels are closer to the mat. Everybody's body's different. So just trust where you're at just now and know that your practice will evolve over time. The more you get used to these poses. As you press your chest towards your thighs, just think about strengthening out, lengthening out your entire body. Keeping everything engaged. And it's like working your body into that nice triangle shape or an inverted V. So your hips are nice and high. Chest is pressing towards the thighs. You're really strong through the hands. So think about just this pose alone. It's like working your entire body. You're strengthening and lengthening your entire body in this pose. We're going to hold it for one more breath in. Big sigh out. And then we're going to take little baby steps all the way up towards the top of your mat to come into your forward fold. Again, feet hip width apart, gentle bend in the knees, allowing the head to hang heavy. Staying focused on your breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. What you'll find is one of the most important things in your yoga practice is that connection between the breath and the movement, the union between your breath and movement. So I'll remind you to come back to your breath often because it's so easy. Our mind wants to run away and distract us with thoughts all the time. Every time you guide yourself back to your breath, you're just going to strengthen that connection and it's going to make it easier for you to stay with your breath and build that focus the entire way through your practice. But it all just starts by gently guiding yourself back to your breath every time you notice yourself becoming distracted. Now on your next inhale, halfway lift. So sliding the palms up the legs as you lengthen through the crown of the head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the elbows back, nice flat back as you lengthen through the crown of your head. One more big breath in. And on your exhale, allow yourself to gently fold. Inhale and reach up high for your mountain pose. And strong through the fingertips, ground down through the four corners of your feet. And notice how that really engages all the muscles in your legs, keeps your core engaged. One more big breath in. Now this time on your exhale, we're going to sit back into our chair pose. You're going to bend the knees, sitting back nice and deep. Again, strong through the fingertips. So think about that same alignment that you would take in your mountain pose. In chair, we're grounding down through the four corners of your feet as you sit back with your hips. Now notice if you can see your toes. And if not, just notice if you're able to sit back just a little bit deeper until you can see your toes. With your gaze fixed at one spot here, staying with the breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now with every exhale, you may feel your body just deepening slightly, sitting back slightly further. We're holding for one more big breath in. Exhale and gently fold forward again with that gentle bend in your knees, your head hanging heavy. Staying with the breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward, planting your hands to the mat, fingers spread nice and wide, stepping back into tabletop on your hands and knees, shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips, pressing the ground away, big breath in. Exhale with your toes tucked under behind, press your hips high and back to downward facing dog. We're just going to work on pedaling out the legs here. So as you press your chest towards your thighs, grounding down through the fingertips, begin to pedal out your legs. So we're bending one knee and then the other. Staying with your breath the entire time. Enjoy one more big breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth. From here, we're going to drop down to our knees. Landing back in your tabletop position. Take your knees about as wide as your mat. Bring your toes to touch behind. Press your hips back to your heels for your extended child's pose. Walking your hands out in front as you gently bring your forehead to the mat. And just allowing everything to soften as you close down your eyes here. Enjoy a big, deep, clearing breath in through the nose. A big sigh out through the mouth. And allowing yourself to relax for a moment, letting go of the breath. Just tuning into your body to notice how you feel. Now on your next inhale, take your time to rise back up. We're going to make your way into an easy seated position. So if you can come to sit down on your mat, your legs crossed, but if that doesn't feel comfortable, take your legs out in front or sit on your knees. Just find a comfortable seated position for you. Now in our easy seated pose like this, really working on grounding down through the hips, nice straight spine. You can have your hands gently resting on your knees. You may even want to take a mudra with your index finger and thumb together to touch. Eyes gently closed. Big breath in as we lift up through the chest. Exhale as we roll the shoulders down our back. Just pausing in stillness for a moment. Turning your awareness inwards. Noticing how you feel. And take this opportunity to repeat your intention. So repeat it like a mantra in your mind. Just repeat it over and over. Knowing that our words hold so much power. You want to repeat this intention until it resonates so deeply with you. Knowing that this is what you're creating over the next 21 days of this challenge. So on your next inhale, we're going to reach your hands up high above your head. Bring your palms together to touch. Exhale your hands to your heart center. And together we're going to close our practice with one last big deep clearing breath in through the nose. And a big sigh out through the mouth. Namaste. Well done for showing up for day one. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please share with me in the comments or in the Facebook group how you're getting on, how you found day one, if there's anything that's came up for you. Now would be an amazing time to take out your notebook or journal and just write down a few sentences or set 5-minute timer on your phone and just journal for the next 5 minutes just about this experience, how it felt for you, anything that came up, anything that, any insights or breakthroughs that you might have had. And I'll really look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 2. Namaste.